Go.
Hello guys, welcome back to
Action News 6.
Action News 6. Today we will be interviewing Patrick Ellis. He will be coming in to be talking about his Horry County Fire Rescue job today. So I hope you guys enjoyed our interview.
So now we welcome.
Now we welcome John Ellis.
All right. Good morning, Molly. And good morning to all the viewers out there. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. I heard that I'm here to answer some questions. Fire away, Molly. What questions do you have for me?
So here's the first question. How would you describe your role as a public information officer, PIO?
I would say that my role is critical in the fact that I am the voice of Horry County Fire Rescue. So if there's any information that needs to be put to the public concerning the department, I am the voice of that department. So it is very important that I know everything that goes on, all the workings of the department. I know the information that needs to be put out to the community. So I would say that, yeah, I would be just like you're the spokesperson for Action News 6, I would be the spokesperson for Horry County Fire and Rescue.
So here's the next question. Why is the PIO role helpful for an emergency medical service, EMS?
It's very important because most people, when they think of EMS, they think of the shiny ambulance with all the lights that comes to your house when you're sick. And they take care of you and take you to the hospital. But there's so much more. They teach classes, CPR classes, first aid classes. They do community health fairs. A lot of people, it's that time of year, so we're paying taxes. They want to know where their money goes. So when they see that ambulance that costs, $250,000, they want to know what their money went to. So what we try to do as public information officers is just share that information so that you're informed, so that you know that the EMS agency is much more than just going out and helping the public when they're sick.
Okay, that's very helpful to know. Here's the third question. How would you describe your policy for handling medical requests?
Basically, our policy is simple. We have contact information for myself. We have a website, horrycounty.org, where you will find my name and my phone number, my email address. You will also see links to our social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. We're just about anything on social media we have it. Twitter. So most of the journalists, though, usually have my contact via my office phone. And when I'm not in my office phone, it is automatically linked to my cell phone. So once they have my number, they can get up with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay. Here is the fourth question. What type of information and details can you share with the community?
Basically, we can share a lot of information. The most critical information we can share is scene information. So if we're on scene of a bad accident, a hazardous material leakage, we want to share with you, do you need to stay away? If you do need to stay away, or maybe it's on your way to work, how do you get around that incident? When to avoid that incident? We also want to keep information on when the incident may be over so that you know when to return to that area. We can share just about any information that we need to that is not personal in nature. But even if our events like our health fairs, we want to share with you the date, the time, if there's a price involved. Most of the time there's not, but if there is, we want to keep you aware. All right?
Here is the fifth. No? Yes, the fifth. What types of information are considered confinement that cannot be shared, and why?
Okay, so confidential information is what we try to avoid. Most of the time when we're dealing with information about a scene, we do not want to give out personal information about the victims involved. The name, their date of birth, their address. There will become a time in that incident, once the family members are notified, once the coroner is done doing what they do, that information then becomes public. That is why it's vital for the media like yourself to keep in contact with me. because once that information becomes public, I'd be willing to share it. But until then, we have to protect the medical private information of that person. Employee information is another thing. Some are private, some is public. Of course, what they make, their position, and their job duties is all public. But a good example would be if an employee is being disciplined, well, we are not allowed to share information about how they were disciplined or something to that effect. So there's certain information, and again, when you guys call me, I'll be glad to set up a time to talk with you guys to explain the laws that are involved in that and how we can work together to still get the information out to the public without violating any personal information.
Okay, here's the third question. What recommendation do you have for journalists working with the PIO?
All right, so journalists working with the PIO, my advice to them was communicate. Get to know the PIO of each agency, not only with Horry County Fire Rescue, but Horry County Sheriff, Dispatch. Each one of those agencies has their own PIO. So reach out to them, get to know them, communicate with them, become friends with them, because the more you communicate with them, the more likely you are to get vital information, to get extra information. What we put on social media is basically the basics. What I don't want journalists to do is to come on scene of an accident and start attempting to speak to the emergency workers that are working. First of all, they need to work. They're there to save a life. The other problem with that is each one of those workers has different responsibilities. So they may be able to tell you that a car has been in a wreck, but they may not be tell you how severe the patients are. The paramedic may know that. Where the PIO can gather all that information from the scene. Also, we're able to get cool pictures. So we love to share those pictures with the media. So again, streamlining the process, contact me first. Let's communicate and I'll give you information. And if I can't give you everything then, I'll tell you when I can provide more.
Here's a question out of the ordinary.
Okay.
What is a PIO?
A PIO stands for Public Information Officer. It is my job to keep the public informed about Horry County Fire and Rescue. And that's everything that is involved with Horry County Fire and Rescue. Because keeping the public informed is number one in what we want to do.
That's
All right.
good to know.
Is that it, Miss Molly?
Yes, sir.
Well, I just want to tell you and your viewers, it was a pleasure to be on your show. I've always been a fan, so it was good to see you.
And thank you for being here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for allowing me to come. All right.